Welcome to this week's OK at Work with myself, Sarah Sawyer, my colleague Russell Berger, both attorneys at Offit Kurman. And today we are talking about recruiting and new hires in the context of what's going on with the new presidential administration. So some of the most recent headlines have been around people leaving federal government jobs, either by choice or being terminated or laid off or pushed out at various levels, all different agencies around the country here. What are some things that employers should be thinking about in light of those changes, Russell?
This is especially for our area here. We're both in Maryland, and the DMV area is probably uniquely affected by this, given the number of government jobs here. But from my perspective and from the private sector perspective, this could be a really good opportunity to get seasoned, experienced workers that are looking for a change. Even if it's as simple as the government's now ending remote work and making people come into the office, that might be enough for workers to look elsewhere. So I think the starting point for this is if you're looking to hire, if you're looking to grow, this is a good time to develop a strategy around how you might attract workers that are leaving the federal government and what policies and plans you want to have in place to attract them, whether that's remote work or flexible scheduling or whatever it might be. This is a good opportunity to plan for that and take advantage of that.
Yeah, and I know on the remote work in particular, there's been some question about how what's happening at the federal level might impact private businesses and how they might change what they're doing. And actually not changing what you're doing and having flexible work and having those remote work policies and things in place might actually be one of those carrots like you described, Russell. It might be something that if companies are keeping them in place, they may even be more motivated to keep them in place as a recruiting tool and as continuing how things are working for their current employees and bringing some stability. Because often the federal government jobs are seen as stable jobs and things that people have been in for a long time. And I think private sector employers have quite the opportunity here to create a culture of stability and offer some additional incentives and perks and get some really talented people in their doors that they might not have been able to get otherwise.
Right. To that point, if the workers that choose to work in the federal government like it there because it's stable, because there's a sense of security, because it's predictable, those are things that you as an employer could highlight in your recruiting efforts. And you probably are already doing a lot of things that contribute to those feelings among your workforce. So you can highlight those things and make them front and center as you're recruiting from this potential pool of new candidates.
I think another benefit to these types of candidates as well is that as we're all navigating change, so we've been talking a lot on OK at Work right now about the changes because there's been so many of them and lots of headlines and lots of change. Folks who have been on the inside of some of these agencies and been in the government might bring a certain new perspective, certain background that you're just not used to having with your organization. It might be some creating of roles in the private sector for people that may not have ever left the federal government, but now are coming into consulting type roles or have a lot of expertise to offer from having had that experience.
Yeah. Whether creation of roles or just mining experience and mining the talent, there's certainly some value add to be picked up there.
Well, thanks, Russell. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Sarah.